Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for this opportunity to present House File 3589. This bill amends how a court obtains jurisdiction under the Minnesota Trust Code. For over 100 years, Mr. President, courts have applied what we call in rem jurisdiction over trusts, and that's just a Latin term for meaning against the thing. That's how trust practitioners have obtained jurisdiction for over 100 years in trust-related matters. The process was publish the trust for a week in the legal newspaper and mail serve all known people that have an interest in the trust. Mr. President, in 2015, the Bar Association lobbied the legislature to add an in personam jurisdiction provision in the Minnesota Trust Code as an additional option. In personam jurisdiction just means personal jurisdiction, where you would serve the papers similar as a civil lawsuit to the person personally. And that's how trust practitioners have practiced since 2016 when that law went into effect until 2023 when the Court of Appeals in a case called Swanson versus Wolf interpreted the new in personam jurisdiction option in the trust code as supplanting the traditional in rem option. Mr. President, that was a case about trustee removal, but it caused confusion among trust lawyers that it could be interpreted more broadly to apply to other provisions in the trust code. And so there's a lot of confusion, Mr. President, on how to obtain jurisdiction right now, and some practitioners are obtaining jurisdictions by both means, by both in personam jurisdiction and in rem jurisdiction, which just adds to the cost. So this bill just simply clarifies that in rem jurisdiction is still allowed in addition to in personam jurisdiction. And Mr. President, this will save parties a lot of time and expense, and I encourage a green vote and stand for questions.
Members, any other discussion on House File 3589? Senator Abler.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate the law lesson. Would Senator Kreun yield for a question?
Senator Kreun, will you yield? He will yield. Senator Abler.
So, Mr. President, Senator Kreun, if we don't pass this, what bad things are going to happen to somebody?
Senator Kreun.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Abler, for the question. The bad things that'll happen is uncertainty in the law in and of itself is a really bad thing. And the confusion is causing trust lawyers to operate in a way that adds more expenses that ultimately get paid by their clients. And they're just regular people who are either, trying to do something with a trust or get a question interpreted in a trust or trying to remove a trustee. There's a variety. I think there's 24 reasons that you can bring an action under the Minnesota Trust Code, and it just it affects regular folks, adds to the cost, and also if a trust lawyer isn't doing it both ways, they could get snagged in a situation where they start a lawsuit or a trust proceeding, and they choose the wrong jurisdictional method, and then that's challenged. The Court of Appeals could say, no, you didn't get trust. They'd have to start over, adding more expenses, unnecessary expenses that regular people, their clients, would have to pay. So hope that answers your question.
Senator Abler.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and so I'm happy that we can, in this vote, instill certainty and help regular folks and reduce costs. Thank you.